What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and these are 5 games that I never get tired of playing. Alright, so I hesitate to two stipulations here. One, I hesitate to say top 5 because these are kind of in an order, but really, like, I mean, you know how it goes when you're playing games, you just play whatever you feel like, so it's not like more the closer towards number 1. We'll just say top 5. It's my top 5 games that I never get tired of playing. That being said, it's also not just games. I mean, it is, but it's like, I'm making no sense at all. I don't know where I'm going with this. I may as well start the video over, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So I appreciate you sticking with me so far. Basically, like, honestly, the entire list would be Final Fantasy games if I really was going game by game, so I'm not going to do that. So if it's like a series or multiple games or something like that, like, you know, with a similar title or something, I will keep that just into one. So, just to kind of give a little bit of variety. Yeah. So, with that in mind, let's get into it. Number 5 is a game that I haven't talked about too much on the channel, but I have mentioned it a couple of times. That is CounterStrike Go, or just CounterStrike. I have been playing CounterStrike since 1.5, and I even played a little bit before then. Like, I mean, long time. I used to play in a league for a season as well. I don't even know if they're still around. Cal, Cyber Athlete Amateur League. We played for one season. Our team came in second place, which was, you know, kind of neat. I had actually quit the team at that point. I'll probably end up making a video at some point on my history with Counter-Strike. Long story short, competitive gaming just is a little too serious for me, and I just don't really want to devote that much time to playing one thing over and over again. We were good, don't get me wrong, and I still love to play, but that's why I want to play, is because I love it, not because I necessarily, like, want to push myself to be the best. So it's just not my thing. But yeah, Counter-Strike, I still to this day hop on every now and then. I have a blast. I play it on my PC. I love, you know, the updates they've done to it. I just think it's still a great game. If you haven't tried it, you know, it's a fun first-person shooter. Just terrorists versus counter-terrorists, and there's different objectives on each map. But like, it's a blast, and I absolutely love that game, and it has been with me since I was, gosh, I'm 16, 17 years old. So, long time. So yeah, number 5, Counter-Strike. Number 4 is the Mario Kart series. And I say series because there's really not a Mario Kart game that I did not enjoy. I could have fun with any of them. I really like I think my 2 favorites, if I had to choose, would be the GameCube one, Double Dash, because I love the kind of tag team aspect where you get to, especially if you got 4 people, and you can, you know, you got one person being the gunner and the other person driving, and I always have a blast with that. And the other one is the newest one, the Mario Kart on the Switch. It's the best of everything that series has to offer, and it's great. I'd love to see what they do in the future with it. It's just a game that never ever gets old to me. I can always hop on Switch, do a few races. If you're my friend on Switch, or even if you're not, and you want to play Mario Kart, chances are I'm down. Just shoot me a message or something like that and be like, hey, let's you know, pick a night and let's play some Mario Kart at some point. I'd love to do, like, you know, anybody who's watching and stuff like that, do like just a night where a handful of us get together and just do a bunch of Mario Kart matches. I love it. The only problem is the stupid Switch voice chat sucks, so I would say maybe use Discord on our phones or something like that to help out with it, but man, I really, really just love Mario Kart and have always adored it since the Super Nintendo. Never actually owned it until I think the Wii version was the first. Whichever one came first, the DS version or the Wii version. I owned that one first. But I didn't have the N64, I didn't have the Super Nintendo, I didn't have the GameCube one. They were always like, it was always that like, by the time I saw it, you know, the prices never went down. I was always waiting for a price drop, and that was stupid of me because Nintendo doesn't do that. So it was frustrating, and I never was able to get a great deal on those back in the day. So I didn't want to pay full price because every one of my friends had the game. So it wasn't like, you know, I really was unable to play it. So either way, I love the series. Have them all now, and they never get old to me. So number 4, Mario Kart. Number 3 is on my top 5 games of all time. I adore this game so much, and I think most people are going to be like, really? And that is Secret of Mana. Super Nintendo Zelda-style RPG with 3 players. You can play with 3 people as well. 3 characters, I should say. And when you have 3 people that all play together, it's a blast. But I mean, I can still play that game by itself as well. I am at the point where I can actually, if I go all out, I can beat the game in roughly 5 hours or so. And that's if I go all out. I don't typically. The main reason I know that is because when I was doing the remake, I had to, I think I may have mentioned this on the channel a while back, but I had to replay it 3 times because I kept screwing up one of the trophies and I wanted the platinum on it. And so I kept having to play through it all over again, and I was like blown away by how fast I was able to get through it, because playing that game growing up, I did so much preparation for different battles that I knew, and that kind of like became ingrained in my mind, like, okay, I need to level up my magic for this next fight. I gotta make sure I use Gnome on this boss and that kind of thing. And so I prepare every single time, and then when I realized I didn't really have to do that, and I could just fire through everything, yeah. I still really enjoy the gameplay though, and funny enough, I like the original better. It's not because of the voice acting, it's a nostalgia thing. I just love the original game. I always will. So, and I never ever get tired of it. I love showing it to people. I love, even though 99.999% of the time, you know, people either aren't interested or they start playing it and they're not big fans of the combat, because the hit detection on the original is a little screwy. But I just adore that game, and I love talking about it, I love playing it, and I love showing it to people, so that will never get old to me. So that's my number 3, Secret of Mana. Number 2 is one of the best games I've ever played, and it's not even remotely new, and that is Chrono Trigger. I have pretty much every version of this game, save the I think the PC version, and if it's on phones, I don't have that either. But the DS is by far the best version now. But when I bought it on Super Nintendo back in the day, I spent upwards of $80 on it, and this was after this was, I think, when the Nintendo 64 was well established and everything. This was before like major collectors were driving prices up and stuff like that. It was just that rare of a game and that good of a game. So I had heard so much about it, and I was like, fine, I'll play it. Fell in love with the cast almost instantly. It is one of my favorite ensembles in any game ever. I guarantee you, I do a top 5 list at some point of like my favorite ensemble casts. It'll be up there. It is so diverse in the environments. It has, again, a wonderful cast. The music is spectacular. There's just something about like the different beats and kind of like thinking about like, oh man, the next place I'm going to is the future. I can't wait to get there. Oh gosh, I'm going back to the Middle Ages. That's right. And then it just drives me forward to play this game, because I just love everything about it. To be honest, I couldn't tell you why it's not my top 5 of all time. It's close. It's definitely my top 10 because it is a spectacular game. It is just, man, I love Chrono Trigger so much. If you have not played it, do yourself a favor. When we did the Frozen North, I had Mark and Brian both play it for the first time, and both of them really, really enjoyed it. And this is, it's a long time after it originally came out, so definitely check it out if you have not been able to. I think it's really, really easy to find nowadays. Like I said, I think there's PC and mobile ports as well, so wherever you can get your hands on it, it is such a great game, and a wonderful cast of characters, and I highly, highly recommend it still to this day. Holds up beautifully. The artwork is great. If you're a fan of Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball, you'll love the art. So it's yeah, definitely play Chrono Trigger. It's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. So that's my number 2. And my number 1 should come as no surprise to anybody, because I kind of teased it a little bit at the beginning. That is the Final Fantasy series. I mean, I literally, like, if I wasn't going to do it this way, where I did, like, a series as one, it would, I know for sure 4 of the games would be, my cat hair, okay. 4 of the games would be on the list, and that is, Final Fantasy 4, 6, 7, and 9. Never get tired of playing those 4. I still play the others too. Like, I have been having a niche to play Final Fantasy 8 again, because I just watched a review on it on YouTube, and it just kind of like was like, I kind of want to revisit this again, even though I platinumed it last year. Same with 13. I've been wanting to give that a revisit. I never ever get tired of this series. I love the characters. They are all so nostalgic, and I think a lot of it has to do with Final Fantasy IV being the game that got me into JRPGs, which is what I love about video games, and Final Fantasy VI, which is my favorite game of all time. So I never get tired of playing through them. I know them inside and out. I know them, you know, like the back of my hand, and I still just absolutely adore everything about those games. As far as like remakes and all that stuff, people love, you know, shouting for and everything like that. Would it be cool to have remakes of some of these older games? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But I still love the originals just as much as the day that I first played them. So to me, it's a win-win. If we don't get them, I still have those. Nobody's taking those games away. They're great, and I will be able to play them forever. And if we do get them, awesome. Then I'll have a new iteration. And if they're, you know, not good, again, still have the originals. So I love the series so much. I still, you know, like I said, 10, 5, and 8 are probably the other ones that I tend to go back to a little bit more. The newer ones, I mean, they haven't been out as long, so I haven't really had the chance to go back. But, like, good lord, Final Fantasy IV, I play probably once, I'd say once a year-ish. But Final Fantasy VI, I don't finish it, but I do, it's tradition, I've talked about this on the channel, that every Christmas morning I play that game. And I did a whole video on why that is, so if you go look at my older videos, you see what my Christmas morning tradition is when it comes to Final Fantasy VI and why I do that. But I will never get tired of this series. It is my favorite series, hands down. I don't think that will ever change, even if they make nothing but crap moving forward, even if they never make another Final Fantasy again. What they have out is masterful, in my opinion, and nothing will ever be able to dethrone that for me. It is just that good, and I love it, and I will never ever get tired of it. So, guys, let me know what games you love to play and never ever get tired of. I'm curious, because I don't even know what made me think of this, but the other day, probably because I was thinking of doing a replay of Final Fantasy VIII, and then I was like, you know what, there's quite a few games that I never really get tired of playing. So yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you never tire of playing when it comes to video games? Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. Appreciate you watching, and as always, keep on gaming.